Enchanted SSO. Y'all made some
My hopes are always to inspire others. Hey, it's your one and only host here at Motiv8. It's your girl Enchanted XXO. We have so much in store for you all today. Wonderful message. Stay tuned. Hey, do your girl a favor. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube, follow my Instagram, and follow my TikTok at Enchanted XXO. Thanks.
Woke up gorgeous again, feeling cute as usual. People confessing their feelings here and there, but I am too focused to be used. I am not chasing the bag today, the bag is chasing me.
Gotta ask PT about this. You said that there was a 90-10 ratio. You know 90% of the time, 10% yes.
Yeah.
And we were like, whoa.
That's a lot of no's.
Yeah, that's a lot of no's. So we just want you to kind of explain that principle and how do we not take it too far? Like how do we keep it in check? Because, you know, I do love the idea of saying no. But how do we not go too far with it? You know, like just kind of tell us how we can discern.
No, that's a brilliant question. So I will be completely honest. I was going for shock value when I said 90% of your responses ought to be no and 10, but that does not mean that it wasn't true. The reason why no is important, well, let's back up, more specifically to the question, the 90-10 thing. You and I are not random beings. Mm-hmm. We are unique, and God has a very specific and detailed plan for our life.
That's right.
And so you take that reality and you put that in a world full of noise and full of busyness and full of everybody's trying to sell you something. Everybody's trying to get you to believe something. Everybody's trying to get you to be into them. All of that is coming at you nonstop. So it may not necessarily be that you get 99 proposals on your desk and you only should choose one. You and I get 99,000 invitations to believe something, to think something, to buy something, to do something all of the time. And if we are unique, purpose-oriented, very, very highly intentional, God has high intentions for us, then we have to be very, very delicate and sensitive and thoughtful about what we say yes to. Mm-hmm. And you have to see yourself, you're not random. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that everyone, you know, one of my disciplines, and I talk about, you know, some of the disciplines in the book, but one of the things that I do every day is I revisit before I greet my wife, before I step foot in my day, before I take one meeting, I revisit who I am every single day, because I realize that when I step into my day, there are going to be 1,000 things that come at me to try to tell me who I am, what I ought to think, what I ought to prioritize, what I ought to be working on, all this sort of stuff. And, you know, if you just scroll through social media, listen, you can get schizophrenia or the symptoms of schizophrenia just by scrolling through social media. One post you're happy, the next one you're sad. One post you feel good about yourself, the next one you want to cry. You know what I mean? You're angry over this and oh, hallelujah over that. I mean, you just go through these emotions. I mean, seriously. If you do it, I was going to tell you to do it right now, but you will be distracted. But just try it one day. 10 posts, just as an exercise, look at the first 15 posts that come up on your feed and write down what it makes you feel. And you will see how divided. There's this word in the scripture, and it's a Greek word, and it was translated devout. And it's a Greek word, I believe it's pronounced elube or something like that. Just find it, and you know. Okay, but it's the word that was translated devout. And it's powerful. It says this individual was a devout man. I thought devout meant, you know, just kind of almost boring. But it doesn't mean that. It's a word that is comprised of two words, and it literally means to take well. One word is to take, the other word is well. So it means to take well. We have to learn how to take well. We can't take anything and everything that comes our way. So we have to be selective so that, so that we can give the yes where it matters. The reason why no is so important is because your yes is expensive.
That's right.
It is expensive. Your yes costs you your time. It costs you your energy. It can cost you your money. It costs you your availability. Your yes is expensive.
Yeah.
And so here is the thing. If you don't have a healthy amount of no's and you're giving away your expensive yes, when destiny shows up, you won't have the price to pay for it. You won't be able to afford what you've been praying for, what you've been working hard for, because you invested the currency of your yes on things that don't matter.
So how do you know when to say yes though? Like, you know, because sometimes like let's talk about like career, right? God may send an opportunity through someone you would have never expected to be able to open that door for you. So sometimes if you like are saying yes, some of the times you might lean to say yes to the bigger things, not knowing that something smaller and from the back way is the thing that you should say yes to. So how do you discern when to say yes and no?
I love that question. It starts with that time you spend every day. Because what I'm looking at in the morning is I'm looking at who I am. I'm looking at what God said. I'm looking at the vision. See, you can't figure out your vision on the fly. Because I'll give you 42 visions. Life will give you 42 visions. So it has to be something that you, in your relationship with God, have written down so that when it shows up, you know if it is and you know if it isn't, right? And so sometimes, and then so that's the big answer. But then the other answer is sensitivity and instinct.
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes, to your point, it won't look exactly like what you thought, but the characteristic of it, the scent of it, the tone of it, there will be something about it that is familiar to you. Doesn't mean it's a yes yet, if it looks very different from the vision that you've laid out, but it's certainly something. Maybe it's a maybe. And you can explore it a little further. I love that question. It's a brilliant question.
No, this is so good because I think that we're used to, having the same, like we need to give God a hard yes, but it's not recognizing that we need to give things the hard no. Because I think what comes with no is the guilt of no. I remember I was watching this interview that Oprah did, and she talked about how no was this unfamiliar word to her. And this is, it's Oprah, right? Oprah that everybody loves, talked about how she did not want to say no to things out of fear that she may be unloved or rejected. And when she started practicing no, it's like a shocker, like, oh, the purposeful relations in my life didn't change. And she talked about, feeling powerful. But when you think about the guilt that comes with it, you're my pastor. And I've heard you share about your story with starting this movement and the hard no's you had to give, whether it is to voices of fear, voices of people. How do you take us through that journey of in life about knowing that we can say no without the guilt?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. It is difficult because when you think about it, when someone asks you for something and you are able to say yes, there is an instant gratification there because you didn't create conflict. You pleased that individual. You didn't have the rejection, the fear of rejection for rejecting them, right? Your no is rejection of you. So it's very easy to get that instant gratification. That it is totally normal. And it's also very easy to feel guilty. I had to tell a wonderful friend recently no. And it was painful. It was painful because I love this individual. I love this individual. And I want to support this individual. And I am loyal to this individual. And the reason why oftentimes we feel guilty, particularly as being a loyal person, is because we feel like if we say no, then we're not being loyal to that relationship. We're not being loyal to that situation, right? We're not being loyal, right? And loyalty is very tricky, Pastor Stephanie. It's very tricky because and I am fiercely loyal. Let me tell you something right now. If I am for you, I am for you. My God, I am for you. And they have this phrase called loyal to a fault. And I don't necessarily believe that that's wisdom, because loyalty shouldn't bring you to a fault. So loyalty has limits. Yeah. And let me tell you what the limit for me, what the limit of my loyalty is. The limit, my loyalty is, it's deep, it's long, it's, the boundary is out there, but there is a boundary. And here is the boundary. The boundary of my loyalty to you is when my loyalty to you makes me disloyal to me. That is the only exit, that is the only escape route for loyalty. And if you love me as a friend, then you will give me permission to be loyal to me, even if it means saying no to you. Saying no for the sake of for preserving my vision is not disloyalty to you. And sometimes you need to put a good old-fashioned no out there to qualify the relationships that are in your life. Because some of your relationships only work because you say yes all the time.
Yes.
And that is not a real relationship. I need to know that you will love me in my yes just as much as you love me in my no. That my no does not affect our relationship if I am saying no because I am trying to protect the boundaries. So no is about boundaries. And when you don't have boundaries, you will be taken advantage of.
Yes, amen.
When you don't have boundaries, you'll be manipulated. And when you don't have boundaries, you can't fulfill your purpose.
So what I'm hearing is, if you say no,
I was a person that wasn't the way I'm supposed to be in the church. Wow. I let people be my excuse because the deacon drunk. It's cool for me to drink as long as I'm not drunk, you know what I mean? Because I knew so many womanizers, it's okay.
You may enter. Instead of state property, choose to be God's property. My save's the only certain in the probably. Even when the saints lose balance, the safe foundation feels wobbly. My life is not my own. You see, I'm both boldly and proudly God's property, like the psalmist Kirk and his choir. Even though I'm a sinner saved by grace with more priors than the institutionalized behind the barbed wires. I'm just choosing to stand for Christ despite the iniquities desired. Headache screams to go back to the lifestyle of my mama. Stay dramatics of the satire of life. Instincts calling me for the higher. God's the truth, and though the devil is a liar, it's workforce feeding the stand up in a generation. Rich and prior, individual fights get lost, and the inclusion of the hours. The good news, I don't know what I'ma do next. The good news is I ain't never gotta worry about that. No, the good news is I'm not only a conqueror. The good news is every day I get stronger. Yo, the good news. No man knows the second, minute, or hour. We just survive the beast's bellies devour. Descend under open heaven, drenched in the shower. Downpouring the blessings and the trials of our hour. God is omnipresent, meaning in the season, a seed harvest, or life events that cause your inner strength to cower. So we push, pray that something happens, because in his name is real power. Not like GP or GE electric, but the power to make the light in the dark symmetric. Breath life and clay vessel of his making. He's my hope for tomorrow, so when my current seems crazy, when my most situation blind, the cardinal sight of his amazing. Still breathing, shelter, nourishment, and 5 senses. To not give him honor, it'd be senseless. So give him praise for his forgiveness. Good news I don't know what I'ma do now. The good news is I ain't never gotta worry about mine. No, the good news is I'm not only a conqueror. The good news is every day I get stronger. The good news. Stop! You know you can't keep running away. I keep on running away.